Hi, welcome to denture.com. My name is Paul. What I'm going to do today is I'm going to talk you through the process of the first stage of making your new dentures. The first stage involves replicating the existing dentures that you've already got. What you'll find in the kit that we send to you in the post is you'll have bags of putty like this. There'll be blue bags of putty and white bags of putty. You use one of each of these to replicate each denture. First of all, what you need to do is choose an appropriate tray that fits your denture. So you have to make sure that your dentures fit snugly inside the tray. In this case, we'll be using the smaller of the two trays. As we can see, the denture fits in there nice and neatly. So once we've selected our trays, we can put the other trays to the side, and then we just use one blue and one white putty and we'll mix these together. When we mix these together, we've got approximately 3 minutes before they start to set, so we have to work fast. So we just need the two putties together, just working fast, and once the putties are mixed together, it should be a nice light blue colour, a consistent nice light blue colour. Mixing that, making sure it's all nice and even. There we go, so that looks fairly even. And then we just put the putties into the tray, making sure that the tray's all completely full. Just remove any excess from around the sides. And then we take our denture and we just sink the denture into the trays until the top of the denture rim is level with the putty. And then we just smooth the putty around the sides, just trying to keep it all neat. Like so. There we go. Okay, and it takes about 3 or 4 minutes for the putty to set, so while we're waiting for that one to set, we can now do the same with the lower. So again, just mixing together the two putties. So just repeating the same process exactly, making sure that we get a nice consistent mix. Again, just placing the putty in the other tray this time, and then taking a lower denture this time, and then in the same way just sinking the denture into the putty until the top of the denture is level with the putty, and then just smooth off the edges, making sure that there's no overhangs or extruding lips. And now we can go back to our first one, which has begun to set, and using some Vaseline, we just apply some Vaseline to the denture and to the putty, and this will just help to make sure that the top layer doesn't stick. So we'll just cover all the denture and all the top of the putty with the Vaseline, or petroleum jelly, I shouldn't say Vaseline. Just do the same to the lower one. And this just helps to ensure that we can get the dentures back out. Okay. The next stage is to take 2 more of the putties, and again, just the same as we've done before, just mixing these together until we get a nice even mix again. We should be getting good at this by now. So just mixing that away, just exactly as we've done before, until we get the consistent mix. And then this time we're just going to cover the top of the denture. So we just feed the putty into the denture, making sure it fills all the gaps. And we just level it off, making sure that the denture is completely covered. Making sure that there's no parts of the top denture visible at all. And then we just try and make the roof into a nice, thick, even lid, covering the whole top of that denture. So as we can see there, none of the denture is visible. It's just sealing the two halves together. And again, we can just leave that for a few minutes just to let that set. And while we're waiting on that one to set, we'll just do the same for the lower denture. Again, we're just mixing this together. Just aiming to get a nice even mix again. Nice consistent mix. And while we're doing this, hopefully the top one should be setting. And this time I have to take a bit more care just to make sure that we feed the putty completely into the base of the lower denture. Don't worry if some of the Vaseline comes out, but we're just feeding all the putty in there to make sure that we get a good impression. And again, we're just making sure that the whole denture is covered. So we're just levelling that off to make a nice lid. Doesn't have to be too neat, but if we can keep it a nice even thickness, it just makes it slightly easier to remove at the end. There we go. So again, just make sure that the whole denture is covered, so we're not able to see any of that. And we can just leave that sitting there just for a minute or two. So while we're waiting for that one to set, we'll go back to our first one, and hopefully this should be just about set, which it is. And we'll just remove this now. And there we go. We can see the impression that we've left of the denture in the putty. And then we can just put our two halves back together again. Like so. And once the lower one has set, it's going to be just another couple of minutes on that. It's not bad actually. But once we have the two halves, what we do is we just pack these up, put them back in one of the plastic bags that the putty arrived in. Just seal them back in the plastic bag and just post them back to us at denture2u.com, and we will send out a wax replica of your denture for you to use at the next stage. Thank you.